Good evening, good evening. Listen, good evening to my beautiful butterflies and fly guys. Listen, I know you are ready and can't wait for tonight's discussion. So without pause, let's get to it. Ladies, have you ever experienced a breakup and then once the person realizes the loss of a really great woman, guess what? They want you back? Not that you would even entertain going back, but the mere fact that they want you back is for me the greatest pleasure. That's right. I said when someone wants you back, but you have moved on with your life, it says two things about you. One, that you found closure, and two, this is very important, that you have embraced the best parts of you. That's right. And as NBA baller LeBron James said, I am taking my talents to South Beach. That's right. Just like LeBron said, you too have made the decision to move on, and you too have recognized that you have something to offer. You see, in that one statement that LeBron James made, in which I may add, many people slammed him for about when he said it, it's that he realized his worth. Let me ask you a question right off, ladies. Do you realize your worth, your value, even after a breakup? Many do not, but I want to help you tonight to see your value, your worth, and inevitably your options. We're going to do that tonight through the unpacking of this topic for discussion. That's right, concerning model and business savvy entrepreneur, Lori Harvey. And we entitled this discussion, Lori Harvey Bosses Up, and now her ex wants her back. That's right, that's our discussion for tonight. So we're gonna get right down to it. Are you ready, AB? All right, let's hit it. Get it. Yeah, in the building.
He spoke fashion. I'm telling he spoke fashion. I'm so bad. He spoke fashion. I'm telling he spoke.
All right. Again, I thank you for joining us and coming back and taking time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation. Many of you, I believe, are familiar with this socialite model, Lori Harvey, simply because of her famous stepfather, Steve Harvey. I would say, but what many of you do not realize is that she is quickly paving her own way in the area of modeling and business. And as many of you would guess, simply because of her model looks, she is able to attract men of all ages and probably some women too. So much so that I can't believe it, but we are constantly hearing about her relationship status in social media and in the media as a whole. From being engaged to Dutch soccer player, I believe his name was Memphis Depay. She was engaged to this young man back in 2017, I believe it was. And we heard about it. It was all in the social media blogs. What a wonderful occasion. At a young 22 years old, here she was. He popped the question. Such a wonderful time, I believe, in any young woman's life. At 22 years old, a proposal was being made. Then after that, she had a short-lived interest with, I believe, Justin Combs. That was also in 2017 after the breakup of the engagement to Memphis. And she went on from dating, or the brief interest with Justin Combs, to dating Trey Songz in 2018. And you know what? It's amazing because we're tracking her relationships here and her dates, but people were so outraged that she allegedly connected with Trey Songz after showing brief interest in Justin, that, you know, people can be cruel, that they created this meme concerning she and Trey. Now let's show this, and this was from the Shade Room. It simply says, Lori Harvey deletes picture of Trey Songz, and people on Twitter think it's because she's keeping her options open. But then some trolls said, Lori Harvey really out here doing the same thing N-words get called trash for. So someone wasn't upset. Someone was upset. So even when she attempted to celebrate her 22nd birthday that year and posted on IG, she was also met with someone trolling her. And that warranted a clapback from her mother. Let's look at that. This was, again, 22 years old. And this person says, they say she's a blank. Is it true? But I love Marjorie, Mother Marjorie's comeback. Her clapback simply says, this is my daughter, not your mother. Mom, kudos to Mom for stepping up and standing in for her daughter. But she went from that to race car driver Lewis Hamilton in 2019. And they simply give this timeline of their relationship, which is amazing to me. And this timeline that seemingly, I would say, it's funny that people were that much engaged in her business. That they posted this. They actually took a timeline and showed just how long this relationship lasted. It was only a few weeks that this relationship happened. But then she moved on from that young man to this young man here, this rapper Future, in November 2019. And then on to current boyfriend, none other than Killmonger himself, Michael B. Jordan. And you see, although there was so much attention paid to the dating life of Lori, the one relationship I want to focus on for tonight's discussion is that of the one with the rapper Future. All right? I want to discuss that one. So many of us know of the rapper Future, of course, from his numerous hits and features, but he is also famous for the women he's dated. He's been quite a ladies' man, I would say. He's been involved with a few. And of course, we all know of the relationship he had with Sierra. And now, because of the book entitled Unguarded, penned by Scottie Pippen. Yes, Scottie wrote a book. But because of this book, we now know that Future also had a relationship with Scottie's ex-wife, Larsa Pippen. So as we know, Future puts in the work in terms of relationships. We wouldn't even know much about this if Scottie Pippen himself would not have put this in his book. Okay. I guess Scottie wanted to air it all out, but it just really looks like Future has been busy. And I guess with 11 children by 10 women, we can confirm that Future has really been busy, all right? But nevertheless, it wasn't until the relationship fully ended with Lori, right? and that she, and then Lori, right? She started anew with Michael B. Jordan. Yes, that he wanted her back. And I'm giving you this firsthand, right? He wanted her back after she started anew with Michael B. Jordan. I wonder why that is. See, my beautiful butterflies, I have to get you to understand that. And my question is, how often has this happened to you? Okay, let me set this up. There's a lot to unpack here. You moved on to someone else, and then the ex sees your new post, and then he's all in your DM. Now, if that happens to you, I want you to give me some thumbs up. Your new post, after y'all are over, now he's in your DM. If that's happened to you, just give me some thumbs up. All right? And see, and then let me go a little bit further. Things will start off fine with compliments, and he'll do that for a while, and then he'll start to ask, maybe we can, do lunch, or are you going to this engagement? Yeah, I'm going to be there too. Maybe we can, I'll buy you a drink if I'm there. Have you ever had that happen? Okay, but then once you start to reject his advances, it then turns to insults. Well, if that's happened to you, this is exactly how I believe things played out with Lori and Future, because Future, being of greater means, didn't just insult her in DMs alone. But he wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here it go. No. And seriously, and he dissed her in the song. I heard of rappers dissing each other, but this is truly a first where a rapper was so much in his feelings that he would do such a thing. Oh, I know. Bruh. So you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me simply because this is so outrageous. But the song was by 42 Doug, and it was entitled Maybach. And Future, was featured on this song. And he said this about, and I'm going to say about Lori allegedly. And it goes like this. He says, I don't go a day being sober. Pour a lot of dope in my soda. Magic City, I'm the owner. Tell Steve Harvey I don't want her. I'm not a rapper, but I like the little play on words there. Tell Steve Harvey I don't want her. You know what? He went on to repeat that verse twice. All right, in that one song, he repeated the same verse twice, which seems to me to imply that he was really hurting, right? He was really hurting simply because she's moved on. Now, Fly Guys, tell me, listen, I'm asking you, and you can help me out in the chat. Why do we behave in such a manner when we are normally the culprit in causing the breakup? But it's after seeing someone who in our own very eyes may be better than we are that we then make a play for the ex. Okay, come on, help me out, Fly Guys, my Fly Guys, and maybe some of you butterflies can help us out as well. Why is it that we do that? I don't know. So please help me out in the chat. Now let me ask you, if it is because we really want the woman back in our lives, or if it is us being competitive. That competitive nature, it kicks in. But nevertheless, whatever your opinion may be, your answer may be, our discussion tonight focuses on the topic, Lori Harvey bosses up. Now her ex wants her back. Did all the triggering. You see, let me tell you this, let me say this. It is not only that she is with someone who could potentially be better. See, that's one thing. But the fact that she is now doing better, that bothers him. Oh, that's good, that's good. How dare she do better with someone else and someone new than she did with me? Oh, I don't want to sound preachy right now, but that preaches real good to me. So doing better is the triggering factor for some. It's the triggering factor for some. Hold up. Stop the show. All right, excuse me for interrupting your viewing pleasure. But listen, guys, we've gone this far, and I have not asked you once to do this very simple thing. But if you haven't already, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, I would love for you to just hit the subscribe button down below. That's all you have to do. And if you're on Facebook, please, if you don't mind, hit the like button and share it with someone if you haven't already. All right? It doesn't cost you anything. So let's get back to our topic. All right. So as we dig deeper into this topic, we find here again that as long as you moved on to someone new, we can deal with that. But it is when you start to do better that we have a problem. And so that leads me to a few ideas, right? A few ideas I want to share with you concerning things that I believe will help you after a breakup. Now, I know many of you are saying, and many of you that have said that there's no chance that you would go back to an ex ever. And as one person said to me, it was quite funny. Frankly, it was quite funny. And I posed this question, and they said, I don't do repeats, all right? They simply don't do repeats. Let me tell you, answer the question in the chat. Have you ever gone back to someone that you were in a relationship with? How did that work out for you? Let me know in the chat. That is the question. But listen, even if that is your position that you don't do repeats, I believe that we all lose our footing just a bit after a breakup. And I find that these tips will help to get through to something or someone better. So I want you to go ahead and grab a pen and a paper, a radio, a taper. No, I'm just kidding. But I want you to consider these 3 tips that I believe will help you to become better. And I believe that number 1 is first to help you to become better. And that's simply to realize that you can get better. See, there are so many things that you can do for self-improvement, but it starts with the realization that you can get better. You can get a better man. You can get a better everything. So to start off, there's always room to get that degree. Yes. Or simply to get that 2nd or 3rd degree for that matter. And so to my young butterflies, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do better for yourself. If college is not the route for you, there are other options available to you. As like the one before, you could go to beauty school. Yes. Beauty school is an option if you don't want to do the college 4-year, 5-year degree route. There's something you can do to make yourself better. You don't have to wait. Tip number 2, we all say this, but body goals. We all know that we should eat everything in modesty. And I know during this pandemic, many of us have been challenged in that area. Postmates and Uber Eats and all of that have really done us in. But we should now consider doing so in modesty. Secondly, we should move around, even if it's not at the gym. Even if it is a walk around the block every other day. You should do that. And let me share a secret with you, all right? Let me share this secret. Ditch the ideal weight chart and get to a healthy weight that makes you look good and feel good. All right. Look, don't look at those numbers. Don't look at, but get to a size that you feel good and you look good. Body goals. We all have them. Tip number 3. That is simply a fashion makeover. That's right, my friends, a fashion makeover. Of course, since this is HeSpoke Fashion, where we discuss women's fashion from a man's perspective. Of course, I'm Daylon Thomas, the host, but you had to have guessed that this was going to be a tip. And I find it to be the one that can offer you instant gratification as well as an advantage. So while you're working on the degree or the certification or the licensing, and heaven knows that we cannot go to bed one night and wake up with the sufficient weight loss that we so much desire. This one thing, this fashion makeover, we can do, and we can make subtle improvements by simply changing our fashion. That's right. I know that you have done certain things, but it takes time to get the degree. It takes time to lose the weight. But these subtle improvements can help you to get better and to feel better. How can we do it? By discovering our personal style aesthetic and wearing clothing that, listen, speaks to you, who you are, and where you would like to go. Listen, don't pay too much attention to label sizes. That's right, I said it. Don't pay too much attention to those label sizes. Shop according to your measurements. The bust, the waist, and the hips. And then wear clothes that simply fit. Lastly, I want you to know this. This is very important. It is always a good investment when you also invest in a good tailor. So before we go, just to drive my point home, there was another young lady who took these same tips and ran with them after a breakup. And her outcome, I would say, is something for the books. Who is this lady? Yes, I know you want to know. That's what I love about my audience. You all ask such great questions. You take a guess. Just take a guess. I know AB is in the building. So take a guess. If you didn't guess, who would you guess? I want you to put that in the chat. Show the chat. Show the chat. I want you to put that in the chat. And let's see, Facebook, if we can put that on the chat. I want to see, who would you guess that would be someone. Yes. Well, I won't keep you waiting. It is none other again than Fantasia. Do you all remember, it wasn't too long ago, when Fantasia, she looked like this after winning American Idol, right? You remember that? But it was all over social media that Fantasia was dating a married man. I'm not telling you anything that wasn't already public. That's the picture right there. That's them right there. And so it went on here they are again, enjoying some time, a day out at the beach, I suppose, with somebody cousin behind them. That's Teddy Bear, I guess. Teddy Bear came along with them to the beach. And then there's simply a timeline of their relationship. Yes, July 2012, breakup. December 13, 2011 child was born. August 9th was the hookup. I mean, people have too much time on their hands to find that, all right? However, once Fantasia came to her senses and put these tips into play, her outcome was one that I really hope that will encourage someone else tonight. Let's look at that photo. I mean, Fantasia has done a 180-degree makeover. Have you noticed that? Let me see in the chat. Have you noticed how many changes, how so much better Fantasia looks? And even, yes, and her persona, everything about her brings life to me and joy. Not only did she drop that 0, but she reached her body goals as well. And along with that came her new boo that she calls her husband. Those body goals, look at those body goals. I mean, Fantasia is doing the thing. You hear me? You heard it right here. You heard? She looks magnificent. And look, to end from a breakup to an upgrade with a husband. That's a good look for Fantasia, wouldn't you agree? I think so. So listen, I have really enjoyed you all on tonight, and I hope that you enjoyed this discussion. My co-host tonight, my special guest, Marquise Thomas, wasn't able to join us tonight, but I'm glad that you were the co-host tonight in the chat. But I want to shout out this brand tonight. I want to shout out his brand, El Royale. If we can shout out that. Yes. We had an ad, but I don't think it's not prepared. But we want to continue to promote the El Royale brand. But listen, as we close tonight, we all have had breakups, but it is not that you had them, but it is how you've recovered that matters. Lori Harvey bossed up. Fantasia got an upgrade. What are you going to do after the breakup? Listen, that's all I have for you tonight. And I want you to have a good night, good fashion. I want you to remember that he spoke fashion to you. Good night. See you next week. Yeah.
He spoke fashion. I'm telling he spoke I'm so bad. He spoke fashion. I'm telling